So when he sneezes, it starts trending. When he removes his spectacles, he starts trending. Whatever he does, it trends. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who's redefined news and journalism, a firebrand on the camera, supposed to be a thorough gentleman off it, Mr. Arnab Goswami. Give it up for sir, please.
You know, when they talk about the Rahul Gandhi interview, I always say that it was a very good interview for me. And truly, I've never quite fathomed why he gave me the interview. Neither has he, I think. But then that's what data does. So we went to, Rahul was supposed to give an interview to a friendly channel. And then I said it would be criminal because if you give the interview to a friendly channel, then people will ask, why the hell did you give an interview to a friendly channel? So give the interview to me. And we were asked to make a presentation, and then we made a presentation to the Congress party, and we told them that the friendly channel has 1 viewer, we have 10 viewers, and this is the reach that you can reach out to if you were to speak to the channel I used to work for. It is this reach that I think Rahul Gandhi fell for, because you see, politicians eventually want to be heard. They don't want to think about what they are going to say which will be heard. You can go to a politician and you can say, I'm going to make you reach 100 million people. And every politician will fall for it. In the case of some politicians, the more people you reach, the fewer votes you're going to get. In this case, Rahul Gandhi is one of them. If I was Rahul Gandhi, I would have never given that interview. I do not need that reach. I can do without it. We've been asked to talk about over-the-top television, and I know it is the hottest term in the world of media and entertainment right now. But I would rather talk to you about news to start with. If you saw the graph out there that Romil showed, did you see the most watched item in the last 1 year? Did you note the most watched item in TV? It was Sridevi's death. Do you know the most talked about item in the social media at a time when Kerala was drowning was not Kerala? It was Priyanka Chopra getting engaged / married to Nick something. Essentially, the reason I'm telling you this is because we all like to talk about news, but we don't take it seriously. We don't even take ourselves seriously. 10 years back in this city, there was an attack, the 26/11 attack, which we all have lived through. I assure you today that it would be easier to get into this hotel than it would be to enter Trident at the time of the 26/11 attack. And the reason for this is that we are a country of short memories. And that's what technology is also doing to us. Our time spent, our attention span, everything is falling by the day. It's falling off the cliff. Our life is one tweet to the other, one Facebook post to the other, one Sridevi death to one Priyanka Chopra engagement. That's the length of your time spent. That's what we have unfortunately become. We've become a country where everyone wants to express and express immediately without knowledge or information. The latest trend in our country, everyone now wants to become a Maoist terrorist. It's the latest fad. A hashtag goes, Me Too Urban Naxal. I've not heard of a more absurd thing in my entire life. Why would you want to be a Naxal? Why would you seriously want to be a terrorist or a supporter of terrorists? When I saw all those trending hashtags a week back, I looked back at the profiles of the people who wanted to become Maoist terrorists. I have no problem with them, but I don't think any of them have read Mao Zedong. I don't think any of them know about the weapons that the Naxals are trying to create. I don't think any of them knows about the number of rapes that the Naxals carry out. I do not think they know about the $2.5 billion extortion industry that the Naxals carry out in Chhattisgarh. Why then does everyone in India want to be an urban Naxal? Why is it fashionable to become a terrorist? Ask yourself this. Let's go to the core of the issue. Content is about psychographics. Content is not just a news story. Content is not one episode of Sacred Games. Content is psychographics. At each point of time, each creator of content is playing for an attention part of your mind. The content creator wants your attention. And remember, the content creator will do anything to grab your attention. So if you are Anurag Kashyap, you will liberally throw in a lot of Hindi abuse into any serial that you want to make. Some of us studied in North Campus of Delhi University, and I'm a student of sociology. So I want to talk to you about psychographics before I go to the more mundane topic about OTT. I think then we link better. Because what you must understand is, and especially for the students out here, do not understand the technology and the medium without understanding the content. And you will not understand the content unless you understand the psychographics. I don't know if you're following me. We have become too focused right now on the medium. So everybody says, I have an app that will download in 600 milliseconds on a 2 Mbps line. And it all sounds very sexy. And everybody said, oh, fantastic. And then we all go around like bozos talking about how fantastic the technology is. What will we do with the technology if we don't have the content? And what content will we create if we don't have the social conditioning to appreciate that content? Understand yourself, backpedal. Why do we not create great content? Because we are not evolved right now in terms of our social conditioning. Let me go back to the Sacred Games, the abuse that is thrown on TV right now. The best way to get an audience's attention for fiction makers in this country is to create shock value. Please, students, the best PhD thesis today would be the following. If I was a student of sociology submitting my PhD thesis, I would do a thesis on the following. The incremental increase of Hindi galis in fiction in India. And then I'd ask myself, is it accidental? It's not. People like to hear abuse. It's a perverse pleasure. Those of us who've studied at North Campus of Delhi University, and remember, I'm roughly the same vintage as Anurag Kashyap. I think he was a year senior. I was in Hindu and he was in Hansraj. Between Hindu and Hansraj, there is a bread pakoda wala. You should go to that bread pakoda wala and you should hear the level of abuse that goes on. Now, for someone from a school next door called St. Stephen's, that abuse is horrifying. Secretly, the Stephanian would want to hear the abuse, but it would not be part of his life. So he would furtively and stealthily, when he gets the opportunity to watch a half-an-hour serial with a lot of that abuse thrown in, he would keep watching the abuse. That is what I call the LCM of content creation, the least common multiple of content creation. Creating content around these episodes, whether it be a Sridevi death or the abuse that is thrown into Hindi fiction content that's now appearing on OTT platforms, is the LCM of content creation. The least that we can do as content creators. What do we want to do? I ask you today, what content would you like to see? Close your eyes and think of the realm of news. What content would you like to see? You'd like to see Vijay Mallya being interrogated, wouldn't you? You'd like to see Nirav Modi getting interrogated on television, wouldn't you? Tell me the truth. Wouldn't you? What would you like to see? Would you like to see another episode of Sacred Games with a lot of Hindi galis thrown in? Or would you like to see an Indian equivalent to The Crown produced at that level of quality based upon our historical figures? If they can have a crown on a failing royalty, and they can try and make Queen Elizabeth, who's the most useless character in contemporary times, into a relevant figure, would you not want to see one seriously made on Bhagat Singh? Would you not want to see one made on your freedom heroes? You would want to. I would love to. I'd love to see that quality of research. I'd love to see, and someone made it on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, but I cannot think of a more fascinating character in modern times than Subhash Chandra Bose, the greatest and most valiant Indian who has lived on this soil. Of course, the Nehru Gandhi family didn't consider him a mention in our history books. But the fact of the matter is, wouldn't you watch a 13-part series called Netaji done to that level of perfection? You would. But what do you get? You get Hindi galis on television. We invested, and the reason I'm telling you this is because you need to understand at the core of everything, let's not talk OTT. Let's not talk MSO. Let's not talk DTH. I run a TV channel. I'm perfectly acquainted with these words. Let's not talk milliseconds and microseconds. Let's not try to impress each other. Let's not talk gigabytes, terabytes, millisecond, microsecond, download time, speed time, bounce rate. Listen, I'm a content guy. We run a channel. I've launched a network. I know this stuff. But in this audience, there must be a vow today. The future will be good if we stop trying to impress each other. Life is not about picking up technical facts. The future will be good if there is good content. What goes into creating good content? Let me tell you. Last night, a reporter of mine took the flight back from London. We spent money and time and effort sending a crew to London. The mission was to get Nirav and Nishal Modi. We had the coordinates. In fact, I can tell you, I have this fellow Nishal Modi on WhatsApp with me now. If the CBI wants to know about Nishal Modi, they should contact me. Honestly, it's not tough. They don't want to get him. I know where he is in Brussels. He talks to me. He sends me namastes and emojis every morning. The question is not that. The question very seriously in this room, and we must be introspective, is what goes into creating good content? Resources, effort, time. We got Nirav Modi's flat. So we went to his flat, we went to the 13th floor, we went to the penthouse, we knocked on the door, and a person started shouting from inside. It was a pure, I would tell you, Mumbai meets Manhattan accent that the person put. Why are you on my door? Get out! How did you get to this door? I'll call the police, I'll call the bouncers. My reporter was interrogated for half an hour below in that flat, which is in Westminster. So Nirav Modi is actually living 1.5 kilometers from the British Houses of Parliament, and we are looking for him here. Nishal Modi is available. We did an interview with Nishal Modi. We got Nirav Modi. Why am I telling you this? Not to flaunt, but to tell you that to create that content, and it is not even Nirav Modi's face, you know. To create that content took me time and effort. Years of perseverance, journalistic ability, the best reporters sent to the field, lots of contacts, lots of phone numbers. So when you see that piece of content, you may take it for granted. Oh, Republic got Nirav Modi. What's the big deal? Let's switch to the next channel. What I want you to know is that is unique content. To create unique content takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of sacrifice. Content does not get created on a multiplier effect. News channels are like elephants. They have a huge appetite. Criticize us as much as you want to. If I give you a news channel to run today, can you kindly tell me what you would run on it? I assure you, within the second hour of running the channel, you would look at the social media feeds of people and start multiplying them. If you want to create good content, you're going to have to pay for it. And so we fight. And so we battle. And so we pick up issues. In the middle of that, we also pick up things that we think are worthy of fighting for in this country. We do exclusives. We face legal threats. We face defamation suits. And yet we continue. We hope that one day the sun will shine, when our brands will become so big that we'll create unique content on a daily basis. But you know what? It gets tougher. I'll tell you why it gets tougher. It gets tougher because of OTT. The problem with OTT is that it wants everything free. I don't understand why. Why would OTT want everything free? Why would an Amazon or a Netflix or anyone out there want my content free? Why would you pay for a dance show but not pay for high quality news? Question. Think about it. Why would you be willing to aggregate truckloads of bullshit content but not pay for high quality content? Food for thought. Are we actually doing it? If in this day and this age we don't do it, then when will we? Romil made a very interesting fact in his presentation. Television viewership is increasing. And he also followed it up, I don't know if he's in this room, by saying that there is such a discrepancy between the cost of consuming cable and satellite television compared to OTT that the Indian audiences will not migrate. I completely agree with him, because OTT television will largely remain confined to between migratory populations, traveling populations, and people on the move. The reason people will watch traditional television at home is simply because of the cost, not because of the choice. Not everybody can afford to have an Amazon Prime connection. Top it up with payments to individual providers, whether that be Hotstar or Netflix, and also pay for the cost of bandwidth. If you're going to be using OTT as your main content platform at home, I can bet you your average monthly bill will not be less than 2,000 rupees. On a conservative estimate, if you were to be consuming lots of content. So what you would do is you would divide between elective content and selective content. Elective content is like your lunch, which you need to have. Selective content will be the dessert which you choose to have. And you try and divide both your cost and your time between your elective content and your selective content. I do believe that news is the elective content. News is what you cannot do without. You cannot do without it. What do all the people who are running OTT platforms now aim for? They aim for a place where, for example, you don't need a Tata Sky connection if you have a Hotstar connection and an internet app. Simple. Now, within the Hotstar app, you would therefore have to have a lot of news channels. Within the Sony Live app, you would have to have a lot of news channels. Within any of these apps, you would want to have a lot of the news channels. News channels which launch would want to be on you, and hence when Republic launched, day one, we launched on Hotstar. We got over 1 million people watching us on Hotstar on day one. On an aggregated basis into the future, here I am a journalist, I want to create top quality content. I want to get Nirav Modi, I want to get Vijay Mallya, I want to get Nishal Modi, I want to get Mehul Choksi. I don't want them on the phones. I want my reporter in Antigua actually outside Mehul Choksi's house so that I can give you the experience. I'm sure that you will watch. I'm sure that you will not watch only when there is a bomb blast. I'm sure that you will not watch only when there is a terrorist attack. I'm sure that you will watch if I am able to provide you good quality content on a consistent basis. But in order to do that, the majors must back me. The majors must not come to me and say, hey, listen, give it to us free. Someday we'll do a revenue share. Someday we'll do a subscription deal. Someday you will make some money because you're being watched on our app. If I'm a good quality content provider, I'm going to say, listen, it takes time and effort. And the only cost I'm incurring is not the cost of my tie on 9 o'clock. The cost that I'm incurring is on my distribution, is on my journalists, is on my producers, is on the chase, is on the effort, is on the intensity of news gathering. I want to be there first. And believe me, I can be there first. But would you please step forward for me? You're the ones who have a control. You're the telcos. You're the big guys. You have the control on the 400 million connected consumers. Out of the 400 million, 175 million connected English-speaking, aspirational consumers, SEC AA+. You're the ones who take those large numbers of people and sell it to the advertiser. And you want me. And when I come in and say, I'm going to do it with you, you say, oh, by the way, I want you free. If I give myself to you free, who's going to pay for the ticket and the hotel stay of the reporter who goes to London? And then you're also going to turn around and criticize me if I follow the social media feeds and do stories out of Rahul Gandhi and PM's feeds. You're going to say that, oh, you know, these are people who don't want to do real news. If we were journalists, we would interview the Maoists. Well, even to interview the Maoists, you have to go to Chhattisgarh. You'd have to stay there. You'd have to camp there. You'd have to buy yourself a bulletproof vest. It's all nice to say, if I was a journalist, I'd be on a chopper. I'd do O.J. Simpson. Look at what the American channels do. Look at what the Indian channels do. Well, the American channels run on budgets of over $1 billion. $1 billion. The average news gathering budget. Do you know the average news gathering budget of Indian channels? Can I tell you? All of them less than $10 million a year. $10 million a year. That would be the cost of two, maybe one primetime anchor's salary in the US. I want you to open your eyes today. Creating LCM content is easy and cost effective. What we need to do now is that we need to change the game. We need to go for the big stories and we need to go for the exclusives. So this is what I want to tell you. Remember this. You will look back one day and think about what I told you. Do you know what the most consumed item on digital in India is? It's not Bollywood. It's not cricket. It's news. News beats Bollywood and cricket on digital. It is the most consumed thing on digital. The most consumed thing on digital. But where does the money go? The money goes into sponsorships of cricket and Bollywood. And third-grade serials with a lot of abuse thrown in. Honestly, I'm sure you need to wake up, and you need to wake up the consumers also. And the movement, therefore, towards OTT can no longer be a discussion around technical issues. The movement over OTT should be about whether we can, in India, create news entities stronger, better than Vice. We can do it. You know, it's so tragic that these American and Canadian TV companies come to India and come to South Asia and they do voyeuristic episodes. You know what one of the most watched episodes on Vice is? Vice is the vice of journalism. Vice is the lowest point of journalism. For all the people who think Shane Smith is a genius, he's not. He has corrupted journalism to its core. Do you know what the most watched episode on Vice is? It is a 1-hour documentary into the red light areas in Bangladesh. And you know what it is essentially? It is essentially pornography. That these American companies come to South Asia, they find people who are willing to throw open brothels for a few rupees for American documentary filmmakers to show, and these fake American and Canadian documentary filmmakers shoot people in red light areas, which is pure pornography passing off as journalism. I want to beat that. Together we can beat that. Together, one day we can show the Americans and the Canadians what good quality creation is, what good content creation is. I want to turn around the power equation in the world of media. And believe me, I assure you today, as I say this at this IWM conference, in 2.5 years I will. 2.5 years from now, I will. I will create an international media company from India so that the next time there is a race riot in the United States of America, our journalists are covering it. We are getting the content from the US, curating it in Lower Parel, and throwing it back to Minnesota. The question is, I have a dream, and I do believe we can do it. Because deep within, I am tremendously frustrated at what we are doing to the possibilities of news and content creation in India. I'm deeply frustrated. Every day I walk around my newsroom, I see the potential in the 22 and 23-year-old working for Republic. I see the trash they are throwing at us from the US. And I'm asking myself every day, I don't mind, I watch the American series too. But how long will we be fed this post-colonial fiction/non-fiction? You know, it's so sad. Indians are beginning to watch and read more about Donald Trump than they are about their own politics. Believe me, I have never understood this. Arey bhai, I'm sorry to say this practically to you. I'm a realist. Will it matter to me if Donald Trump loses the next congressional debate? No. What is it a function of? I go back to the question of psychographics. The reason you're watching Donald Trump a lot now is because CNN is feeding you Donald Trump. The reason is it's because it's on your Google feed. The reason is also it is entirely possible that 1 out of 2 of you may have watched that episode, what's it called, with the guy, Kenneth, what's it? The American one on the president's office. House of Cards. House of Cards. So in sociology, and I'm a trained social anthropologist, this is what we call the cultural surround effect. I have surrounded you. You are not Indian. You are American in your thought. You begin your day by reading about a Trump up and down. Then you'll follow a bit of CNN in between so it can be your office time conversation with a colleague. You'll go back in the evening and you'll watch a little bit of House of Cards. You may even start watching Saturday Night Fever without knowing who the people you're talking about are. I've culturally conquered you. I've already conquered you. So at the end of the day, when the same American companies start feeding through their streaming content at you, believe me, by choice, go back today and see the content you have consumed. You will see your own local content going down and down, and you'll see American/American content going up. I won't be surprised if many of you are watching a Serbian documentary, but you will not be following news from India. And then we all come and complain about what's wrong with us, and we want to be Maoists. Think about the confusion we are in. I had this phrase recently. I call them popcorn American Maoists. And by the way, for anyone who wants to be an urban Naxal, believe me, every Maoist in India is funded directly or indirectly by the CIA. So I call them American Maoist terrorists. That's not the reason I came here. I'm on a bigger theme today. I am also telling you that I, with my team, we are working very hard. We launched our organization a 1.5 years back. And we're working very hard to change the game. You may ask, you may say all this, what have you done? We've taken very, very bold steps. Day one of the launch of Republic. Day one. When you have fought the Times of India group, and when against their numerous legal notices and police complaints, every day there was one from Bennett Coleman at me. When you launch your channel, what do you do on day one? You want to protect yourself. You want to get the TV ratings. What did we do? We launched on Hotstar. Some people told us you're mad because your audience is going to get divided. I said, doesn't matter. I'm so desperate, I want to reach everyone. We launched Hotstar. I think Uday told us that evening that we'd got over 1 million people within a few hours on the launch of Hotstar. So what are the bold steps we have taken? We've launched on Hotstar. We were the first. We're the first in the news category to go on Sony Live. We are on every telco, whether it is Vodafone and Jio. We even with all the aggregated content creators like Daily Hunt, we've done a few things which very few people have done. We are now using all of this OTT to our advantage. We are now studying information. We are looking at all the consumers. We have advanced analytics. And this is what my team has told me to share with you. I don't intend to know every of it, but I need you to know that as an organization, as a leader of Republic, that's what I'm doing. We have details on the kind of content, device type, platform type, internet connection type. We have all the information that requires us to give the viewer a better product experience. We have an HD feed that is running on digital. We have deep behavioral information that feeds back to television. With the help of these insights given by consumer behavior, we are feeding back to Republic TV from Republic World on consumer innovations and hence helping us refine our content on TV as well. We have newer technologies for personalized experience and monetizability, and I can tell you it's very difficult to monetize on digital. With the help of our recommendation engine, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and NLP, we are creating a very highly engaged platform. We have launched a progressive web app. We are loading very fast. We have the lightest news app in the world, lighter than Al Jazeera and much lighter than BBC. All of these things are aimed at ensuring that we are ready to move into an internet-ready world. But at the core, I come back to the fundamental issue. All big OTT players should have to deal with us on an equal basis. They must pay for the content that they get. We must all stand up to them, speak to them, and engage with them. And in the future, if 10 or 15 OTT platforms do that kind of conversation with us, then believe me, this industry will change. The moment you start expecting it free, you're going to get peanuts. You pay for it, you'll get good content. Even if a sliver of the large revenues that OTT platforms sit on in India comes to news and content creators like us, the game will change. Finally, I want to thank IWM Buzz and all the members of this very hardworking team, Siddharth, Ashish, Franklin, and Srividya. I've had the pleasure of working with some of them. We're going to partner with IWM Buzz on creating many, many pieces of content. And I want all of you here to look upon Republic World as your new news entity out there in the open. Lastly, food for thought. What do you do every minute? You're creating news, because news is conversation. News is not a news story. News is not the meal, it is the aftertaste. And I leave you with an aftertaste every night. I also ask you this, and I know there are many critics of us among you. There should be. I hope not many Maoists. But I tell this to you. What if we were to disappear from your life? What if we were to completely disappear? When I say we, the kind of journalism that I brought in, criticized, abused, trolled, attacked, everything. What if one day this form were to go away? Just vanish. What would your life be like? Who would you troll? Who do you attack? Who do you criticize? Who do you make spoofs on? The question is a larger one. The question is about our country. Some of you in this audience in your 20s may have been in your early teens when we started this form of television. I'll tell you a very personal story and then I'll wrap up. They've already put something called Time's Up. I want to tell them this never applies to me. So I would say for those who put Time's Up, I'd say give up. I'll tell you a simple story before I leave this room. By 2008, I was already a fairly successful editor. I had managed to make the channel #1. I didn't need to gain anything personally. But I began to look around me a little closer. I asked myself, that I am still in my early 30s. What am I going to do with the rest of my career and the rest of my life? That was 10 years back. And then episodes happened in this country which took me towards my eventual goal. I didn't choose to do this. I didn't choose to create journalism that is more engaging, less frivolous, more inquisitive, more interrogating. 26/11 happened. It tore our lives apart. It was never the same after that. We questioned our policy towards Pakistan. Corruption was there. CWG happened. The 6 scams after that happened. Anna Hazare happened. The fight against corruption happened. Nirbhaya happened. Our country went through a churn. All of these things happened, emerged out of this. Almost like a churning in the middle of the ocean, a new form of journalism. This form of journalism will not go. What this form of journalism can do now is evolve. I assure you, we are now part of your life in more ways than one. In the future going forward, we need your support in order to take this journalism to the next level. And I'm pretty sure 3 years from now, we will all be proud when Indian news content creators and organizations start opening up offices in New York, LA, Canada, Africa, everywhere around the world. The future is almost here. This is 2018. What I'm telling you will happen in 2021, and then we'll look back to this day. Thank you very much, IWM. Thank you.
Arnab sir, I mean, if you have 5 minutes in hand, can we keep it interactive where people can ask you questions? I have a question to you, sir. All right? I love your fearlessness. I love the way you're no holds barred, you're unleashed. You yourself said you have people saying, bring down these stories, court cases. And I've been told that in person, you're a gentle soul.
Yeah.
How do you handle all these situations and how do you maintain your sanity?
What makes you think I'm sane?
No, but in person, I see you being very, very demure.
It depends on the definition of sanity. Most journalists think I'm insane.
Yeah?
I can assure you that. Go ask the people in Lutyens, Delhi, they'll tell you he's mad. But the fact is, I'm mad about something. It's good to be insane and crazy about something than not to have any emotions at all.
There you go, sir. I'm sure there are a lot of insane people in the audience as well. So we'll pick up about 2-3 questions. Ma'am, please stand up. Can you shoot your question? You want a mic? I'll come to you. I'll come to you. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good afternoon. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Priyanka Mathur. My question is, Arnab, that very recently I heard Badshah, the pop star, saying that he wants to penetrate hip-hop music across the streets of India.
He wants to?
Penetrate hip-hop music across the streets of India and across the new generation.
Right.
You just talked about this cultural, the influences that we have from US, too much. I myself being a classical vocalist, I feel that Indian media is lacking behind promoting Indian tradition, Indian arts, and they'll be more than happy to oblige Badshah do that, what he's doing, because he can pump in monies.
Yeah.
What is your take? How can Republic go ahead with this? There has to be a revolution. I just spoke to Javed Akhtar Saab also on this. He being the chairman of IPRS, he had no answers to it. He said that we want the audience to give us a reaction.
Yeah.
If a classical fusion hits, then probably Indian media, be it Sony, Times Music, any of these labels, will also start promoting it. What is this?
Well, see, I don't know anything about classical music and things.
But
so
I'm talking about promoting Indian culture.
I-
Where is media heading towards that?
Yeah, it's okay. You're not on my show, so.
But you are here to answer. Every
Yeah,
time
I'm
you
answering.
do it.
I'm answering. Let me breathe. You see, I watched A.R. Rahman's recent series called Harmony, I think it was. I watched the first 2 episodes. It is the greatest, most beautiful tribute to Indian music. Now, it is not easy, and it's not, that episode will not get made on 50,000 rupees. I'm being very blunt about it because I know the economy is, we run a business. We employ 450 people, so we know the practical parts of it. The question is, It's a beautiful episode, but it will take a lot of effort and time to do that. If international organizations can start doing stuff on Indian music to the finesse that A.R. Rahman did it, with a personality as great as A.R. Rahman, and I'm a huge fan of A.R. Rahman, then why can't we do that on other aspects of our society, which includes news? If that were to happen, we'd be very happy to participate. But then we cannot be squeamish about the production cost, quality, level of research, etc. And I think we can do it. So as far as you're saying about Indian culture and tradition, I think it can certainly be done by multiple platforms. But I'd repeat once again that those who look upon India only as a market should also look upon serving the culture and tradition of the market which they want to enter. They cannot enter our market with the 2018 version of Bold and Beautiful. They cannot do that. If they expect to do that, the Indian audiences must push them back. That's the best answer, I think. Beyond that, I wouldn't know.
No, that was a question about Indian traditions and culture. But do you know who Badshah is, and do you listen to hip-hop yourself?
No, but I'll listen after this. I'm caught up in a different world. I've stopped with Jethro Tull.
Yeah?
So I'm a bit of a time warp. But I do listen to stuff now. My son keeps me in touch. My son doesn't listen to Badshah, I think. I have to ask him.
But you must listen to Badshah. He's very
I
yo.
will. Of course I will.
Yeah?
I'll listen
All
to
right.
it on the way back.
We're going to quiz you on that tomorrow morning. Next question. Anybody here? Here you go. All right. This man is a well-known TV actor.
Nice to meet
All right.
you. Nice
My neighbor's wife is a big fan of his.
Nice to meet you.
Good afternoon, sir. Arnab, sir, I've met you at the airport, and I'm sharing this story because of two reasons. I was very happy, excited to meet him at the airport, and after talking to him, I was very scared. So I'll tell you what exactly happened. My wife was working with Times of India, and I told him, I said, Arnab, sir, it's such a pleasure meeting you at the airport. Thank you so much for being so honest. It's very important for journalists in India to be honest, the kind of news you're getting to us. Elections are coming up. It's so important to be honest. Thank you so much. आप जैसे politicians, corrupt politicians की band बजाते हैं, बहुत अच्छा लगता है देखकर TV पर. I said that to him, and then he laughed, and it was nice to see him smiling and then he said, "What's your name again?" And I was like, "Oh my God, मेरा नाम वापस कुछ news में आएगा तो नहीं, So I was just wanting to say that.
Nice to meet you again.
Sir, thank you so much for being so honest. It's so important with the kind of scams we've been hearing in the country, and the kind of things you told the students here. I think we'll have great journalism coming up in the coming years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to tell you that sometimes we don't even share 10% of what we know. Wow. And the reason we get angry and we shout is because I sometimes think that if I were to bring one of you to my room for a private conversation, and if I was to share even 50% of what I know is happening in our country, you'd be in a rage every night. I want to tell you that we condition you and we censor a lot of the material, some willingly, some unwillingly, some for legal reasons, some simply because we don't want to shock you too much, but I have seen stuff that you would not want to see. You have seen the riot as it is reported on TV. I have seen the footage of what happens before the riot. I have seen politicians incite people. I have seen politicians stand there, and I've seen people with swords in their hands being provoked to kill. I know what happened in Uttar Pradesh 3 years back. I know who was involved. I know those who provoke. And when I see the same people lecture every night about doing good to our country, it enrages me. I also want you to know today, as a citizen of 2018, that we were divided. My generation broke up because of Mandal. We were never known by our caste. You know, the first time I realized my caste was as a 16, 17-year-old when I entered college. And I was told being Goswami means being Brahmin. And yesterday I heard Randeep Surjewala of the Congress party say, we are a Brahmin party. Our leaders are Brahmin. We are all Brahmin. And he says Ram Prasad Bismil was a Brahmin. Motilal Nehru was a Brahmin. You know, he said that. Chandrasekhar Azad was a Brahmin. And I said to myself, look here. 25 years later, this is the language that is being fed. We are talking about the worst things of caste in this country. And I know that some of you may not feel this is the reality of this country. What I'm telling you people in the room is, do not insulate yourself from your country. Let your connection with India not just be the Hindi galis that Anurag Kashyap throws at you. Your connection with this country has to be from the son of the soil or daughters of the soil, what is happening in our country. As of this minute, people want to divide and break up this country. Do not believe, and I said the other day, do not believe that because Khalistan and Operation Blue Star happened in your parents' time, it will not happen now. If I were to tell you the Chinese fund the Khalistanis, you might say that it's some poppycock dream of mine. If I tell you it's the reality, what's happening is, my friend, and I'm giving you a detailed answer, is we share with you only 10%. And believe me, do not insulate. Your responsibility as conscious citizens is not to look away. Your responsibility as conscious citizens is not to distance yourself from your own country. You must get immersed in your country. You must get immersed in the politics and conversations with information. Because this bubble that we create, 8.2% growth, 10% growth, digital economy, wow, fifth largest economy, fourth largest economy, what is our social base? What are the quality of our politicians? Have the fundamentals changed? For you it might, but how many people can go into the airport where you and I met? Right? We should not create one India for the advantaged India and one India for the rest. My deepest concern is that. So I always, when I go out, I want to go deeper and deeper and deeper beyond the highway. I want to go beyond the coffee shops and the Starbucks. I want to go deeper within the main centers and the district centers. That's where you see the real country. And my worry is that more than 1 billion of our population, or 1.3 billion, live there. And my concern is that somewhere I feel today that maybe 5% of this country's population has cut itself off from 95%. That is my concern. Then among those 5%, if this trend, I am an urban Naxal, starts, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Therefore, I say today, and I know I'm extending my time, they've given up, it's beyond 45 minutes. I say today that with pride for the nation and pride about nationalism, we must surge forward. With disregard for the nation and contempt for the country, we cannot surge forward. That's all. Thank you.